What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Fit Parent Podcast. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about Halloween candy counts, like how it counts, because it does count. Everybody thinks, oh, just a nibble here, a little snack here. It's not going to do anything. It's nothing, right? But I'm going to give you what you need to hear today. I'm always going to do that because that's what I want to do in these podcasts, okay? Now, before we begin, I do want to let you know that I am giving away $1,000, literally $1,001 bills to one lucky winner on December the 1st. All you have to do is enter in the giveaway. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, that giveaway, the link will be in the show notes. All you do is click on that link, takes you straight to it, enter, and you have your chance to win that $1,000 because it's going to randomly pick it. I'm not picking nobody. It's an automatic thing. So, guys, if you've noticed, today is Friday. Usually on Friday's podcast, and if you're listening to this, by the time you listen to this on the podcast, it'll be Monday. But as you may have already noticed already that Coach Lacey is not here in today's episode. So she has her son is getting ready for homecoming, so she's a little bit extremely busy today, getting him all ready for a good evening to have him set for tomorrow, which is Saturday. I think it's going to be a good time. I know she's super excited to get her son all ready and dressed up, prepped up, and they have to get the parades and they'll do all kinds of stuff. So my kids aren't there just yet. My oldest, he's in kindergarten, and so we got a ways. We got a ways for him to do anything type of homecoming anyways. But just want to make that apparent real quick. And other than that, let's go ahead and start it. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right. Because more than likely, the people that are watching this on the live, Halloween's around the corner. It's going to be Sunday. And even if you're listening to this on Monday, you still get some value from it because, if you have kids, which majority of people that listen to this podcast do have kids, okay? And I feel like, especially when it comes to holidays, you feel like you have to either you overindulge or you just get carried away too much, okay? But if you're eating, and specifically when it comes to Halloween, if you're eating too much candy afterwards, after your kids have went from like almost dozens and dozens of houses and their bags are full, absolutely full of candy, of course, as the parent, we indulge. Like and I'm definitely not going to say that I don't because I do it firsthand. So, and then this is whenever I talk to you guys, I'm speaking from experience because I've done this before myself. And, you always feel like, especially whenever your kids, you get done trick-or-treating, and then that's pretty much the first things that us parents we look through the bags and Snickers, because Snickers are one of my favorite candy bars, and Butterfingers, one of my favorite too. And, we're trying to see, what kind of good candies that, and we ended up opening a couple, snacking on it. But then afterwards, you feel guilty. All right. And then and I'm coming to a place to where it's like you're just sitting there unwrapping a whole bunch of them, and your guilty level may be if you eat 2 or 3, or maybe 4 to 5 or 10 pieces, right? You feel guilty due to the fact that you just ate some candy, right? And I feel like a lot of people do this, and this just comes with the holidays in general. It doesn't necessarily have to do with candy, but you feel guilty. Whenever you start feeling guilty, right, then you're going to eat more. Then you're going to do more. Okay. You're like, well, I've already messed up. I've already overeaten. Might as well keep on doing it. Right. I've done this. I've said this multiple times myself. But, I don't want you to fall victim under that. And I want you to, hopefully today's podcast, you can kind of start thinking about it. Start thinking about it in a different way. Because if you control yourself and you start adding the candy, and in this specifically, Halloween coming up, you don't have to feel guilty. You can actually be guilt free. So how do you do that? How do you eat candy and be guilt free? All right. Well, first of all, I want you to understand this. Candy isn't bad. Too much candy is. Okay. I'm going to repeat that. Candy isn't bad. Too much candy is. Candy bars, suckers, snacks, bubble gum, lollipops, sour Skittles, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Whatever's out there, whatever candy's out there. Or even snacks, because I know some people like to give out snacks. All right. They aren't going anywhere. I guess when people think it's Halloween and they have all this candy at their house, they think it's going somewhere. All right. Do you realize we can always get candy? Do you realize that? They just happen to sell a crap ton of candy whenever it comes Halloween because everybody's going trick or treating. But candy is always around us. Always. Snacks are always around us, even after Halloween. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Your candy bars, your snacks, your suckers, your live, they're still going to be around after Halloween. That's why it's important to not restrict yourself from the foods. This is the main reason why you don't want to restrict like if you crave candy bars, if you crave snacks, if you crave something specific, it's important that you don't restrict yourself from the foods that you love. All right? Yes, and I'm even talking about having candy. Yes, 100%. You should not restrict yourself. Okay. Instead of restricting yourself, which can cause you to binge eat and feel guilty. Like if you had a piece of candy every single day, say you had your favorite candy bar. Okay. You had your favorite candy bar every single day. You think that you would binge eat it? Do you think that you would feel guilty? I wouldn't. If I could have something that I really enjoy every single day, then I wouldn't want to binge eat it. I wouldn't know, oh gosh, let me eat as much as I can because I'm on this diet and I have to restrict myself, right? You don't have to restrict yourself when it comes to eating candy, when it comes to eating snacks, when it comes to eating food in general. All right. You have to learn to have candy, snacks in moderation rather than eating a shit ton in one sitting. And that's what most people do. This is what I've done in the past. Learn how to have candy in moderations. All right. Fit the candy into your diet. Candy, honestly, has a long expiration date. It's not going to spoil, okay? Unless you leave it in your pantry for years, all right? But more than chances than not, it's going to last a couple of months. It's not like it's fruit or vegetables. They don't perish that soon or in a couple of weeks, rather. Candy has a long expiration date, okay? Especially longer than fruits and vegetables and any other foods that you have in your pantry or even in your refrigerator, okay? So I want you to understand that. Like candy has long expiration date and you need to learn how to fit candy into your diet. This is possible, all right? So that means that what this essentially means is that you have, you have you pretty much you have some every day, right? This is just an example. You can have candy every single day if that helps with your craving, kind of like how I mentioned earlier. If you're craving it, then don't restrict yourself from it. Learn to enjoy it and learn to have moderations, okay? You should be able to enjoy the holidays like a regular person, okay? And what the holidays has to offer. Just because it's a holiday, just because, your family and your friends and your significant other, whoever it is, your kids are all enjoying the holidays, eating food, whatever, drinking, whatever, doesn't mean that you have to necessarily cut everything out. All right. Being on a fitness journey or a healthy diet doesn't mean you can't have or enjoy your favorite foods. And that's where people mess up. And that's where people binge eat. All right. And that's whenever people, that they lose track or they feel guilty. They fall off the wagon. They think, oh, I can never do this. This isn't for me. It's because they restrict themselves too damn much. And then whenever they do enjoy, they do, like their snack or like their candy in this example, right? Then they end up binge eating. Okay. And that's something that we want to avoid. We have to work on your relationship with food. Your relationship with food has to get better. And it will. All right. It will get better. It just means you have to be aware of how much you eat and you have to control it. There's a difference between sitting down and eating 20 pieces of candy bar and sitting down and eating 2 or 3. Okay. That's a huge difference because everything that you consume into your body counts. I know I've talked about this on another podcast, but everything that you consume in your body counts. It adds up to your calories. So, so don't, instead of trying to feel guilty or feeling guilty, learn how to eat in moderation. All right. Having foods in moderation is the name of the game. That's how you're able to enjoy foods that you love. That's how you're able to have candy. That's how you're able to still eat maybe your cookies, right? You have to account for it, okay? And you have to have it in moderations. All right. There's a difference between having a small slice of pie rather than having half the pie. There's a huge, huge difference. Okay. It's all about moderations. Most people don't know how. They forget how to have moderations. They just, I'm just going to eat till I'm full. right? That's not the way. That's why most people are obese, because they eat to their full. They eat to their stuffed. They eat till they get sleepy. They eat to where they can't move. They eat to where they're in the coma. Like, you got to eat in moderation. Control yourself, and then you can have it. You can have a bite, a candy bar here or there every day if you want to, depending on the candy bar, depending on what your goals are. Okay. You could still do those things. Moderation is the name of the game. Candy isn't bad, guys. I want you to remember that. Candy isn't bad. Too much candy is. But, guys, I hope you got some value in today's episode. I really, really do. And if you did, all right, this is what I want you to do. If you got value in today's episode, please shoot me a DM and let me know, okay? Let me know that you got some value. And if you feel like you need some help and you're struggling, just send me a message on Instagram, on Facebook, wherever you're listening to this, wherever you can find me, okay? Because my Instagram handle is in the show notes at TylerPorto_IF. All right, you can find me there and just type the word podcast. Say, hey, podcast. I'll know exactly what you're talking about, knowing that you need help. All right. So that's it for today's episode, guys. Stay fit, stay strong.